My name is Akpan. I got married in the year 1996. I had a blissful marriage of 18 years old. The marriage was blessed with 7 kids, 6 girls and a boy. But unfortunately, the cold hands of death took my husband away that made me to be a widow today. During his illness, it was during there was Ebola by then. I took him around to different hospitals where we could get medical attention, but because of the Ebola crisis, we were told in many places there was no space to keep him. There was no space on bed, so I took him back home that night. Then 2 days later, he gave up. That was how the journey of the widow started.
Hello, Mrs. Grace, and welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode on Widow's Corner Show. And today we have Mrs. Grace, a woman that has 7 children. Her husband died during the Ebola crisis. He was ill and no hospital admitted him. So, Mrs. Grace, once again, you are welcome to our show. So, can you quickly just take us down to memory lane? I mean, what your relationship was like with your husband? I know before we came on set, you told me that you guys were teachers. Just a brief summary.
Okay, we had a good life together. As a teacher, I learned every day. I learned from him because he was more higher in educational level than me. So it was our hope that we will impart the knowledge into the life of the children, but so unfortunate that he's not alive, because I so much wanted us to live together, for the children to learn from him. Even though he's no more alive, the children still, the few years that they grew up, we live together, they still bring up the issue, the experience of living with their father, and that has been what has been keeping me on with the children.
Wow. Now, speaking about the children, you guys had 7 children together. Wow. And I think you mentioned 6 girls and a boy.
Yes.
Was it that you were looking for a boy, or 7?
Actually, not really that I was looking for a boy. Well, like in we African culture, normal, a man always need
A male child.
yes, in the family. But each time I took him, it comes, the sex I give birth to, he was not disturbed. He never discriminated the children or disliked them that they were all female. He took all of us, the girls, the children that they are his family. So nothing was changed. There was nothing changed really, that in spite of being annoyed that they were only girls. We loved the children as much as if they were all boys.
Okay. So, can you briefly describe what happened? What led to the death of your husband? You told me that he was ill. Just a brief summary.
Well, what happened, how the thing started. It was on I think the last Friday in the month of November, if I'm not mistaken. We went for night vigil that day. When we came back on Saturday the following morning, his normal routine was he would go and stay in his shop if school is not in session, because we had a shop that would sell stationery and do other photocopy on every
A business center.
Yes.
Okay.
So later in the evening, I went to church for cleaning. So when I came back, I met him sitting down outside, and I told him, "Is it not time for us to pack? Let's go inside and have a rest, because tomorrow is Sunday, we go to church." So when he stood up, he walked inside. I saw him limping, and I asked him, what happened? I hope you did not try to carry the gen alone. He said, no. How come now that you are limping? Then he showed me a wound on his leg, as if kind of maybe if a child falls down and just have an injury, just might scratch on his leg, by the side of his leg. And I, just this thing that is making it to limp, he said yes. That was how it all started. So the next day, that Sunday, he tried and wore a shoe because he was the one that was to preach on that Sunday.
Was your husband a pastor?
Yes, he had a call.
Okay.
But he was one of the elders in the church.
Okay.
And that was the last he wore a shoe. So when we came back, the thing was becoming, his leg was swollen, it was more severe. I was now wondering, what happened? What really happened? Then he now told me that when he was sitting down outside that evening, he fell in as if he was sleeping. It was in a trance that he saw that somebody used machete to machete his leg. That
wow,
we've been trying to kill you. You did not die. You will die. So when he woke up, he said he just prayed. He prayed over it, that he rejected it, that it would not happen to him. And I remembered once when, after my second issue, then I had two years after my second issue, in a dream, like I had a dream that I remarried. But when I woke up the morning, I forgot about it. So it was later that evening that my daughter told me, Mommy, I had a dream yesterday. It's like you married another husband. I said, God forbid. So I gathered them together that evening before he even came back, because my children used to go to bed early. We now prayed over it. Thank God I prayed. So that year, that was towards the end of the year. On 1st of that December of that year, I can't remember actually, he had an accident. But to the glory of God, he didn't die, but he sustained a serious injury that after he was okay, before the incident that led to that he had a wound on his leg. That was how things started. He treated it. He went for medical. He did some series of tests that it was confirmed that he never had this sugar.
Diabetic.
Yes, that he was not diabetic.
Okay.
So after much with prayers, different prayers and treatments, it was okay. The leg got healed. It was okay. He came back to his normal self. It was along the line that I took him for my last child. During that process, when I was pregnant, that place, that the wound that got healed, the wound is the exact place burst back to wound again.
Opened up.
Yes. Then it now became bigger. It was growing bigger and bigger, and as the wound was growing bigger, it was depreciating in his health, in his body health.
And there was no sign of, as a diabetic
He was not diabetic
patient.
because he was doing the tests constantly. The only thing I knew he had, he had a BP.
He was hypertensive.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the only thing, and that was what led to the death.
You know, you mentioned that they kept rejecting you people because it was during that outbreak of Ebola.
Yes, that was when the case was severe, that it was as if he was losing his breath, that he could not breathe. That morning that incident happened, that I took him to the hospital. They were referring us to different hospitals. But the last place we went, they said there was no space in the ward for them to admit him. So we now went back up. It was 2 days later, they gave up.
So, Mrs. Grace, you have 7 children, not 1, not 2, 7. So, you know, and I remember you said the last born was about 3 months when your husband passed.
Yes.
So have you been coping all these years with 7 children?
It has been God. God has been there for me. He has been my strength all this while. He has been my sufficiency. He has been my comforter. Before I came in contact with TLC in 2017, when they visited our church, they have been of tremendous help to me and other widows in my church. They help us with food stuff. we close. They help us they establish us financially. When you are in terms of need, when you are in problem, you have needs, they have been there. TLC has been there for me. They supported me in the education of my daughter. I've been so grateful. I will ever remain grateful to them, and I pray that God will continue to strengthen them and bring up more helpers for
Amen.
TLC.
Amen. So, how did you relate with your husband's family? Have they been there for you? Because we have issues of widows having, issues with their in-laws after the death of their spouse. So, how was it like for yours?
Well, I never really had issue with them because my husband's siblings that I knew that we were living together when we got married. After sometimes we splitted.
Okay.
But even when they never called, even when you try to call them, the way my sister-in-law will answer you she will be in a hurry. She will cut off the call. She will cut. So even when he was sick, when I informed them that their brother is sick, they never answered me. They told me they did not know that he was sick. Then during his day, when he died, when I told them, they said they never knew he was sick. How come it's now that he's dead that I'm not telling them? They never showed up. So I never bothered. But the only thing, I thank God that when he was alive, we joined the village meeting. So the village meeting was there. They helped me, and my church has also been of help. And all other, my family, most especially my dad and my siblings, they all supported me. That was how, with God, but God has been the most helper for me.
Interesting. Well, that brings me to my next question, and which you've just said it, that I was going to ask your support system, but you already mentioned your family, your siblings, the church, even the village meeting were there for you, and you mentioned again TLC. Wow. So, would you have done something differently? Lessons you learned from your husband's death. Would you have done something differently?
Well, yes, because when he was alive, he just finished his master's before he passed on. Then I wanted to attend. I was to go for computer school to add computer to my knowledge of secretarial studies. That was what I read in school. But since he was no more, I had to pay all my attention on my children, for my children to achieve something. So that has been my major priority now. My major concern is for them to obtain education where I couldn't go further. So all my strength, my focus is on them to be able to go higher and be greater than me in the future.
Okay, so your strength now is to focus on your children. So, Mrs. Grace, hearing your story, during your grief, was there any time that you felt like giving up, losing everything, Was there any time?
Yes.
Especially the early period.
Yes. That was a year after my husband's death. I think a few months after his burial, I sent my daughter. My cousin, in the process of, she wanted to help me. She said I should send one or
Of your
two of
children.
my kids to her.
Okay.
But my daddy kicked against me sending 2 children to her, that one should go. So I sent the older one. That was my second daughter. She went there to stay with them in the process of to write her exam there, because she was about writing her WAEC before the daddy died. So along the line, when she was there was series of complaints about her, that she does this, she does that. Why she now called me. She told me she wanted to come home. I was begging her not to come, that she should stay there and achieve her main purpose why she went there. So for her just to write her exam and come back. And there was a day she called me and asked me, "Mommy, are you rejecting me?" I said, "No, I am not rejecting you. You know the reason why you went there. I want you to achieve that. When you finish, you can now come home." So I think 2 days, less than a week, my sister now called me that my daughter they have sent her, she's in a vehicle, she's coming back to Lagos. I said, "What happened?" She said, "When she comes home, she'll come and explain to you." I said, "May God guide and bring her back home safely." When she got home, she came back home with ailment. She was sick. That night, I ran to the pharmacy, we bought drugs for her, thinking that it was maybe malaria or something, that she would be okay. When she took the drugs, she was fine, but the next day, it was, today she's okay, tomorrow she's not okay. So I remember a day when I was hustling, then going from one place to other to make a living, so that I'll be able to put food on their table. When I got home that evening, I met her on the bed. She was almost giving up. I shouted, I screamed. So neighbors came by to help me. So the first thing I did, I called my pastor. I told my pastor what was happening, that I came back and met Elizabeth. She's almost giving up. Oh, Daddy, I don't know what to do. I don't know what is wrong with her. To the glory of God, we came around. We shall revive her, but the next day, she said I should take her to the hospital. I took her to the hospital. She was admitted. So there, the doctor discovered that she had severe malaria that was in her, that have been drying up her blood. To the glory of God, I thank God, because that month was exactly a month that made it a year after the father's death. I was wondering, assuming, God forbid, if this had happened, people will start saying all kind of things, that if that woman is a witch, her husband died, now is her daughter. It will be from one to the other. But I thank God, God did not allow that to happen. Secondly, there was also a time my first daughter, after she finished because she had a high education, she schooled at one private polytechnic at Port Harcourt. When she got admission at Yaba Tech, the school year at Yaba Tech, they needed a result and a letter from the former school there, so that she can be admitted. She went by herself. The owner of the school refused to give her. So I remembered, and I asked her to give me the number of the man. She now gave me. The day I called that man, trying to plead with her, that, "Sir, please help me. This girl, she's not owing any school fees. Please, just give her what she needs so that she will continue her education here in Lagos. Please, sir, I'm a widow that I'm trying to give those students to have their rights as a child." The statement the man made, said to what he said to me that day, I shedded tears. I sat down on the ground and was weeping. Why would somebody that you said you are a philanthropist, you own a school, even though I know life is not a bed of roses, we all go through one process or the other before we can be something in life. The man shouted at me, "Don't disturb me. You are not the first. Are you a first widow? Don't disturb me." That he lost his father when he was a youth. That he struggled before he now became something. He just caught the call. So I was now wondering. I was crying. I went on my knees. I told God, if you are really the God that you call yourself, that you are a God of widows and you are a father to the fatherless, prove yourself. In that situation, he did not disappoint me. So when I now called my sister, that my daughter stayed with, the girl, my sister now went to the school to meet the man. My daughter later went back again with series of pleading before he now wrote the letter and now signed, that they now sent it by mail to the school. That was how she now got admission at Yaba Tech to further education.
Thank you, Mrs. Grace, for coming and we appreciate your presence here.
So,
And I hope things get better with you and your businesses, and I wish your children well as well.
thank you very much.
And so, viewers, thank you. That's all on Widows Corner Show for today. And a word to all widows out there: you are seen, you are loved, and you are cherished. Till next time, bye for now.